to you. And of course, this is a front page review on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. My name is Jude. Ikami Jude. I'm here because you're there. Check the time, 7:01 a.m. And of course, today is the 25th day in the month of June 2025. All right, I've got several newspapers for you this morning as usual. And then I want to begin with Punch. Yeah, there's something punchy in Punch newspaper this morning. All right, let's take a ride together, everyone. Enugu government appoints Super Eagles goalie Okoye as state ambassador. Okay. Rivers. Let me leave this story first. NYC denies service extension for core member who criticized Tinubu. You see why I had to abandon that story first, right? Let me take this one. Again, NYSC denies service extension for copper who criticized Tinubu. Tobacco kills 1.3 million non-smokers yearly. According to WHO, tobacco kills 1.3 million non-smokers yearly. According to WHO. Riders threaten protests over federal government's failure or failed CNG tricycle promise. Riders threaten protest over federal government's failed CNG tricycles promise. And then to some of the big stories here, Tinubu NAS face fresh criticism over 2024 budget extension. Port Harcourt refinery shut down, enters second month. Yes, Port Harcourt refinery shut down, enters second month. Iran-Israel marketers urge government to prevent fuel price hike. 2031 presidency, Tinubu's successor, Tussle fields 2027 VP slot battle. Did you hear that? 2031 presidency, Tinubu's successor, Tussle fields 2027 VP slot battle. NEC crisis. PDP National Working Committee convenes as governors INEC talks end in stalemate. That story is coming again. 2031 presidency. Tinubu's successor, Tussle, fields 2027 VP slot battle. And then to some more other stories here. Senate seeks federal government state synergy to harness solid minerals. Still with Punch newspaper this morning. Let's check some political headlines also. Nigeria drifting into unitarianism and, of course, true federalism is a way out, according to Olanipekun. SDP crisis, I remain national chairman. Gabam is the one speaking. Nigeria drifting into unitarianism, true federalism, way out, Olanipekun. And then Lagos local government poll, don't take anything from for granted. Someone who tells APC candidates, don't take anything for granted. Internal crisis blamed as PDP Labour Party lawmakers join APC. Internal crisis blamed as PDP Labour Party lawmakers join APC. SDP suspends national chairman, others over alleged fraud. Thugs invade SDP headquarters over chairman and other suspension. Tinubu's cabinet lacks quality. This is according to El Rufai. I'll take you now quickly to some other stories that I've got here for you, but this time Daily Post is next for me here. And let me see now. 24 Akwa Ibom lawmakers defect from APC to PDP. 24 of them. Just like what happened in Rivers, right? Police detained three masqueraders in Enugu over alleged assault. Police detain 3 masqueraders in Enugu over alleged assault. Okay. I think they should also go to Kogi State, Okene precisely. And I saw a video that was, oh God. Benue crisis, police arrest 28 masterminds of Yelwata massacre. Taraba State, lawmakers move to replace deputy governor amidst prolonged illness. 1 Fed dead, farmlands destroyed in renewed herdsmen attacks on Benue community. Not again, not again. Group urges Igbos to defend themselves against herdsmen attack. On crisis, Reps launches ad hoc committee to address security challenges in Benue State and others. Benue, I am deeply saddened. Alia reacts to murder of travelers. Erofai, this is where you got it all wrong. Undume tells Tinubu. You are suffering consequences of what you did to Amechi. Undume to Erofai. Niger government to crack down on sellers of adulterated fertilizers. Gabam speaks after suspension as SDP chairman. FCT Council election. Use my project to campaign. Wike tells allies. 2 reps dump Labour Party, PDP for APC. Lagos local government polls. Don't take anything for granted. Sonolu tells APC candidates. Count me out as running mate to Tinubu in 2027. Barrow tells Northern groups. Count me out. Count me out. Osun local government crisis. PDP officials seek Tinubu's intervention. All right, let's visit Vanguard newspaper now. 7:09 is the time right now. Adamawa government revokes Atiku's Waziri title over indigenship policy. Adamawa government revokes Atiku's Waziri title over indigenship policy. Tinubu has AI. Oh, okay, A1. Tinubu has A1 in politics, F9 in governance. Adebayo is reiterating that this morning. 2 appropriations in 1 year. Experts react as NAS OK's rollover of 2024 budget till December 2025. Rollover budget. Nigeria is lawless country. Peter Obi films over demolition of brothers' property in Lagos. Adamawa government revokes Atiku's Waziri title over indigenship policy. Drama revelation as BB Niger housemates reunite. North bleeding daily from uncontrolled violence. Northern elders speaking. SDP crisis, secretariat gate pulled down as thugs security clash. I am reaping the gains of loyalty, consistency in politics, says Duoye Diri. I'm reaping the gains of loyalty and consistency in politics. Study to make Lagos malaria-free begins, Abayomi says. And then police arrest 26 in connection with Benue massacre. Kogi police foil kidnap of passengers along Obajana, Shoko Road. Arrests 2. And then let's see, pharmacists accuse physician leadership for healthcare crisis. To some political stories now. SDP crisis, secretariat gate pulled down as thugs security clash. Tinubu has A1 in politics, F9 in governance, says Adebayo of SDP. I remain SDP national chairman, coalition behind crisis. Gabam is the one speaking. PDP to hold 100 NEC meeting amidst INEC dispute. And then Lagos local government poll. Don't take anything for granted, Sonwolu tells APC candidates. Nigeria is a lawless country. Peter Obi films over demolition of his brother's property in Lagos. It was demolished. Rwanda's Paul Kagame reappears amid health rumor. Meets Obasanjo. Can we take two more or just one? There's a photo here. PDP governors lead National Working Committee to meeting with INEC. Okay, let's leave there now and then move to the Nation newspaper now, everyone. The Nation newspaper is next, everyone. 7:12 a.m. What APC must do to win Oyo in 2027. This is according to Adelabu. Okwewolo seeks 100 billion naira loan to finance infrastructural projects. With Adedeji's FRS, revenue keeps looking up. Why DICO rather will be returned in 2027. Lagos APC council chairman should reside in their domain. More confusion in PDP over Anyanwu. Brazilian-backed $1 billion initiative to overhaul agricultural sector. And then finally here, Benue Plateau killings. We've arrested 53 suspects, says Egbetokun. Let me quickly take you to Daily Thrust newspaper now. Daily Thrust. PDP crisis. Damagum PDP leaders meet INEC over national security dispute. Tax. Big men remain FCT's biggest problems. According to Wike, that's on tax payment, right? Big men remain FCT's biggest problem, says Nyesom Wike. Your schoolmates shouldn't ignite fresh controversy. Atiku Town Tinubu. Your schoolmates shouldn't ignite fresh controversy. Atiku Town Tinubu. And then, INEC to PDP adhere to Supreme Court judgment. Senate extends 2024 budget implementation to December. And then, in discipline, accuracy, key to journalism practice. There's a foundation that is saying that here. And then SDP suspends chairman, others amidst coalition talks. 2027, clamor for Tinubu to pick me as VP out of place, says Barau. Clamor for Tinubu to pick me as VP is out of place, says Barau. Let me give you four more. Strikes continue in Iran, Israel, despite ceasefire announcement. Strikes continue in Iran, Israel, despite ceasefire announcement. Tinubu declines assent to National Assembly Library and, of course, Trust Fund Bill. Farmer hacked to death in FCT community. And finally here, why we are seeking new party for coalition. This is according to Mr. Nasir El-Rufai. And then let me check The Guardian for you. A couple of stories, just a few of them here. Head of IGP monitoring unit accused of bias against Ghanaian investors. And then customs intercepts contraband goods worth 352 million naira on Badagry waterways. 5 dead, several injured in multiple crash on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Navy arrests 76 vessels, 242 suspected oil thieves in 2 years. To some more stories now. Abia Polytechnic produces waste receptacles for environmental agency. Victim laments neglect 3 months after attack by officer in Calabar. And then, let me see if I can touch on just a few more. Woman stabbed by fiancé in Port Harcourt, battle for life. Police arrest 11 over farmer's murder and abduction of 2 in Oyo. 7 persons abducted, motorcycles carted away in fresh bandit attack in Niger State. And then, police investigate mysterious death of man in Delta hotel room. Everyone, Sun newspaper is next. Yeah, before we join Rufai Hosseini, get close to your radio set now. Nigeria sliding into abyss. Nathan Khan is the one speaking here. Kalu's strategic projects behind Abia North's low poverty rate, says scholar. Kalu's strategic projects is behind Abia North's low poverty rate. This is according to a scholar. Is that true? Those from Abia State. Let's see. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's commissioning of FCT Abuja mega projects continued yesterday. NILDS transformational leadership for development. Nigeria sliding into abyss. Nothing can. And then PDP promises to liberate or deliberate on outcome of meeting with INEC. PDP promises to deliberate on outcome of meeting with INEC. In Imo State, Okigwe Zone should produce next governor, Mba. Well, according to an analyst anyway. It's okay. 2027, APC and Chetima's fate as running mate. Oshun Guba, I am not desperate. APC Secretary Bashiru speaks. And finally here, PDP promises to deliberate on outcome of meeting with INEC. This is Voice of the People, and we are 90.3 FM. Like I would always say, feel very free to join the conversation via all of our social media platforms. Okay, YouTube, everyone. Get to YouTube. It's VOP 90.3 FM, and you can watch us live. And of course, drop a comment. Just go there and type VOP 90.3 FM, and you're just there. Yeah. Get to the search bar. Type VOP 90.3 FM to the comment section and do drop your comment. Let's now join Rufai Hosseini at this time for some analysis of these stories. Let's go there.
Okay, welcome to yet another exciting, insightful time right here. So a couple of stories making the round. There was an interview granted by Senator Ndume, and Senator Ndume has started to say that President Tinubu's government is run by kleptocrats, and a lot that ought to be done is not being done in the government, and there's a lot of back and forth. We all know that Senator Ndume doesn't hide his feelings. He doesn't hide his positions about the state of things, and he had been a constant critic of the President Tinubu government. So him saying that the government is wrong with the government of kleptocrats is just another indication of his own opinion as regards it. So the big question will now be, what will be the government's reaction to it? Because see, a lot of people have been saying many things about this government. Take, for instance, the Belarusian case, where a certain Belarusian businessman is in the middle of all this tractor thing coming into Nigeria, where concerning that tractor, when you look at that case effectively, in fact, the National Assembly had probed that tractor delivery from Belarus as of 2024 December. Also, the Minister of Agric also signed another tractor deal with some representatives of John Deere. Then, Nigeria we have assemblage of tractors locally. In fact, there's a company called Bob Track that makes tractor here. Why can't we patronize Nigerian made? Why did we go all the way to Belarus? And the man, Alex Zigman in question, in fact, granted a press conference saying that he is not into any shady business, that what happened in Congo was that he was arrested for a couple of days and he was finally released and all of that. So all of this is mad in a lot of controversy. But I think the formative question we should ask is that, why going to bring tractor all the way from Belarus? How much did it cost in the first place? And the local producers of tractor here, like Bob Track, why didn't we look at them as a viable option? That's the kind of scrutiny we should be able to put on the government and be able to ask the question. Because if we don't ask questions, we don't get anywhere. And the truth has to be said, we need to try as much as possible to inquire what is going on with the tractor. The National Assembly had started a probe somewhere in 2024 that the tractors had not been delivered. In fact, as all the 2,000 tractors been delivered, we hear that some are still on the road. Let us see when most of these tractors are delivered to be able to ask due questions and be able to dig in deep into this matter. So we need to be able to investigate. And here we will look at that tractor matter. How much is it going to cost us per tractor? The cost per tractor. I mean, those are many questions we should be able to ask because, see, if we want to build democracy, we must build it holistically. Inspector General of Police said no fewer than 53 suspects have been arrested in connection with the deadly wave in Benue and Plateau states. Addressing journalists, Egbeto could describe the June 1 massacre, the June 13 massacre in Yelewata as a coordinated attack on terror. He said 26 were arrested for the attack in Yelewata, 22 suspects in connection with the Plateau attacks. Okay, since people have been arrested, we'd like to get to the end of this. And we'd like to investigate and see how quickly these people will be charged to court. And we just hope that everything, goes rightly and we're able to get to the end of all of that shenanigan as regards the state of play of insecurity in that area. Petrol has hit 955 naira per liter as marketers and NNPC raise prices. All of this in relation to what is happening in Israel and what happened, in Iran and the debacle, the strikes back and forth between Israel and Iran. And, they adjusted prices to 915 liters in several filling stations. This mark a sharp increase. Also, independent marketers increased 60 naira from 895 to 955 per liter. Petrol price has just gone up. You see, this is also going to cause a lot of hardship, and that's the downside to subsidy removal and all that happens as regards subsidy. When you look at it, the suffering people only bear the brunt of the subsidy removal. SDP suspends national chairman over alleged fraud. The Social Democratic Party has suspended its national chair, Shehu Gaban, over alleged financial misconduct and misappropriation of party funds. The party also suspends its national auditor, Nadi Clarkson, Chukuma Chicken. The decision was announced in a statement by National Publicity Secretary Araba Ayenugba on Tuesday. And isn't it shocking that these are the parties that at some point was tipped, for this coalition talk? And there's also a story making the rounds, that Peter Obi did post. He said the building of one of his brother's property in Ikeja was damaged. In fact, was demolished. He said there was a court order that was addressed to nobody. And when he tried to inquire and he waited there and he said, okay, who sent them? Nobody could, account for it. The big question is, why do we damage? And we would like to hear the other side of those that even came for that demolition exercise. But the quick question is, how do we want businesses to thrive when we are so quick to damage? Is that always the best solution of demolition? And when people are challenged as regards, okay, what's the court document as regards that? And you said the court document is addressed to an unknown person. It even raises more questions. So we would like to look at all of this deeply as regards the state of play, what is happening in the country. Is this a political attack? Is it targeted? I would like to argue no. But some people will also argue with me that all of a sudden, one business that was exposed to the Obi family, the next stores, that's how it came down through fire in Abuja and all of that. I don't want to think everything is a political attack, but it's also something we should be able to investigate and look at thoroughly. Because if we don't investigate and look at things thoroughly, we'll not get to the end of most of these matters out there. So it also behoves on us to be able to investigate, scrutinize and see how things go. Two appropriations in 1 year. Experts react as NAS OK's rollover of 2024 budget till December 2025. So you see, the problem now is that two budgets are running concurrently. The federal government is extending the span of its 2024 budget by another 6 months, a development which has consolidated on the culture of running multiple budgets in a single fiscal year. And yesterday, the Senate began a legislative process of extending implementation timeline for the capital component of 2024 budget of 13.1 trillion until December 2025, 31st. They resolved to, to mandate the Committee on Appropriation and Finance to conduct a joint investigation into critical fund releases and overall performances. The particular extension is the second of just the 2024 budget, having earlier been extended to June 2024. The budget is also extended. The 2023 budget was also extended into the
Of
end of
course, of
2024,
course.
while the 2024 budget was running. So I think we have also built down a bad cycle of running concurrent budget cycle. But the question is, how are budgets even funded? The other day, the Minister of Health was talking about the fact that for his capital project, he only just got 10% of the total worth for his capital project. And that's a sad indication of what is happening in our country. How do we run our budgets? The budgeting methods. How is that done effectively? How is money released? I think these are questions we should be asked. And I keep saying it. In Section 22, our constitution gives the media a chance to be able to scrutinize these things. And the earlier we look at it, the better it is, And it has to be said, we cannot just look down and we cannot just turn our eyes away when things are going awry in the country. That's just it. Tinubu, we told Assent, National Assembly's library, National Assembly Library Trust Fund amendment bill has been passed into law. In a communication address to Speaker, which was read during plenary, the President acknowledged the noble intentions behind the proposed amendment that highlighted provisions, settled federal law and all of that. But notwithstanding laudable objects of the legislation, certain provisions there go against the settled law and policy of the federal government. According to the letter, the President identified problematic areas, including funding structure for agencies under the National Assembly, taxation, and matters relating to public service remuneration, as well as stimulation of age of service. He says if the bill becomes law, the provision will establish an unsustainable precedent against public interest. So the library situation is another one on the front burner. Let's see how it pans out. So the President has given some of the reasons for him not assenting to this. Real quickly, like we said before, Trump just took the world on a wild goose chase to nowhere. Israeli intelligence has now come out to say that there was no major strike. In fact, that with all of their bombing and pounding of nuclear facilities in Iran, it will just set them back about some years. The American strike will just set Iran back for a couple of months in their nuclear program. So it was not a detailed work. It was not something that helped to really decimate the nuclear capability of Iran. This is based on American intelligence. And I'm sure that's why President Trump was upset and abusing every media house that called out, especially CNN, that first released the story. But the story is finally held by intelligence sources in America. They're saying that the intended damage that those bombs were supposed to do didn't do the intended damage. So the operation was not a success. It didn't do damage. In fact, it's so bad now that the Iranians are now claiming victory, because apparently things have been moved away. So is it that America didn't get their intelligence right? They didn't get their reconnaissance right. So what was the essence of pounding all these areas while Iran still had their nuclear, materials and enriched uranium intact? Hence, the IAEA was right. There were no radiations. So it just shows America in a bad light. And President Trump had to use the F word on TV. I mean, which president uses F word on TV? And when he was feeling frustrated because both parties were not, especially Israel, like he said, was not yielding to a ceasefire. Finally, before they came around on the ceasefire, and after he even announced ceasefire, Israel still went ahead to send rockets into Iran. So, I mean, it speaks volumes of the ecosystem and what is going on.
Okay, Rafai Hosseini, thank you. Thank you so much for your analysis this morning. Everyone, feel free to join the conversation, okay? I want to have a conversation with CP Chuks right now. It was a former commissioner of police in Oyo State, all right? I am going to be joining him right now because we have a whole lot to talk about. Yeah, couple of questions CP Chuks will answer. So feel free to join the conversation, everyone. WhatsApp is 08171756338. All right, CP is here already. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning to you, Ikani Judy, and to the listener.
Good morning to you. As regards headsmen attacks, an Igbo group, I mean, a social cultural group under the umbrella Igbo National Union Worldwide, has called on all the people of the area in the Igbos to arise against killings and destructions of properties allegedly being unleashed by terrorists parading as headsmen. In other words, they're saying that Igbos should defend themselves against headsmen attack. CP Chuks, your view on this?
Well, it's a natural reaction. You cannot see an enemy coming to attack you and you just keep quiet and allow yourself to be slaughtered. In fact, you will continue to blame yourself even in your grave. Therefore, the Igbo National Union have done the right thing by sensitizing the people to prepare themselves, not to go and attack innocent and law-abiding Nigerians who are peacefully conducting their businesses around the Southeast, but to be ready to fight and defend themselves and their properties against this vampire who terrorize and are out to invade and take what is not theirs. And the Igbos had really had ugly experience in the past between 1966 to 1970 when they went through genocidal war that they called the so-called Nigeria Biafra Civil War. And they were pushed to the war. What they did that time was only to defend themselves in their own territory. They didn't go into any other area to go and fight. They were only defending themselves. And I think with that background, they cannot allow anybody to invade 1 inch of their territory and repeat what they did 50 years ago, 50 something years back, almost 60 years ago. They'll never allow that. The Igbo people I know. So it will be like free for all fight for those invaders to try what they are doing in the Middle East. If they, sorry, in the Middle Belt or the North Central. If they try what they are doing in Middle Belt or what we call the North Central, if they try 5 or 10% of it in Southeast, I don't think they will live to tell the tale. Because that is when they will now see the Southeast coming out in their true color. Because if you leave them to get away with it, they will overrun the whole place. They will invade the place and cause further mayhem. That means before you know it, you have no home again whatsoever, So I don't think they will ever allow such a sordid illegality to pervade in the landscape of the Southeast.
voice of the people, 90.3 FM. CP is here right now. Hello, good morning to you.
Yes, I'm here. Maybe it's network or whatever.
Okay. All right. Talk to us, CP. You were saying something.
Yes, what I was saying in essence is that the southeast entity of Nigeria will never allow what has been happening in the middle belt or the north central to, based on to overrun the southeast, based on the experience they had between 1966 to 1970.
All right, CP, I recall I was asking you a question. When you say, or when these people are saying Indigbos should defend themselves, is that not going to be termed as another kind of war? Because if it has to do with Indigbo, it's always a different, ball game. So again, what would you say to other states like Benue, like Plateau, in Nigeria, where there's always, one killing or the other on daily basis? So if you say Indigbos should defend themselves, is it not going to bring about something different? It look like war, Biafra and Nigeria again, in quote. So what do you think?
No, it's a different scenario this time around. It's a different ball game because that of the 1966 to 1970 was a situation whereby there was a push that had to do with the military then and the government, and in the course of cleansing whoever they felt were instrumental to that push, the citizens took laws into their hands and began to pursue everybody from the southeast, from the then eastern region.
Okay.
All over the country. They were slaughtering them and all that. So they all ran back to the southeast and they pursued them into the southeast. That was exactly the genesis of that war. And then they had to now defend themselves. But this time around, it is not as if Ndebo are declaring war on constituted authority.
That's what I'm saying.
They are not
some people will want to read it that way. For instance,
anybody that reads it that way is mischievous and very, very malicious, because that is not the real issue. The real issue had earlier been warned against by someone like Theophilus Yakubu Danjuma, a retired lieutenant general and former chief of army staff, whereby he told his kinsmen, his kids and kin, to be ready to defend themselves. He knew what he was saying because he knew that those people are extremely dangerous and very, very devastating set of human beings. I don't even call them human beings. They are more or less animals. So if you keep quiet and leave them to take over your place, well, it's unfortunate. Because from taking 1 inch, before you know it, the entire territory is taken over. So you cannot allow that to fester. And good enough, in that of the Civil War, there was things like proclamation, there were engagements at various levels, international community came into it and so on and so forth. This time around, who are you going to deal with? Is there anybody you are going to have roundtable talk with? You are not fighting the constituted authority. You are fighting invaders whose mission is to terrorize and bring in jihad. That's just their concept and their message.
Okay.
So you cannot allow it to happen. You can't. You see, the thing is a bit tolerated up north there because they are predominantly Muslims. Well, I don't want to say predominantly Muslims because in the Middle Belt, you can't say they are predominant. But they still have a large chunk of non-Christians in the Middle Belt.
CP.
But in the East, the situation is not like that.
What I'm saying is, I hope you also you would understand when I say that in Nigeria, no one is allowed to defend his or herself when it comes to herdsmen attack. Look at what happened in Edo. Any little defense, this guy comes back with, a whole lot more. So that's why I'm saying, in terms of asking some persons to defend themselves, it might it might turn to become something else. That's the area I'm going to, actually.
Well, when you're defending yourself, so long as you are not the aggressor, going to, fight innocent people who are either farmers or headers. Headers, I mean, are people who are not invading with AK-47 and entering people's houses and farms and setting them ablaze and killing people. Those are not, they are not law-abiding people. Those are criminals. They are terrorists and gangsters. So whatever treatment you met out to them, everybody will be ready to defend it. Let me give you one instance. You see, I told you the last time we spoke that a similar thing happened in Delta State around the Abraka Obiaruku axis. They slaughtered the so-called headers and brought them out with their charms and AK-47 rifles. What came out of it? Till today, nobody has asked any questions because all of them were missing in action. They were caught red-handed with AK, kidnapping, terrorizing, and causing mayhem. So if you do such defense, who will come to ask you questions? What you have done is not taking laws into your hands because the security agencies and the military were not able to defend you. So you have to defend yourself. That's the law of nature. It's not as if it is deliberate on the part of the military and the security agencies, including the police, that they didn't want to defend you. It's because they are overstretched. They can't be in every nook and cranny of the region. So since you know that most of those places are forested areas, there are no police stations there are no military camps there, then you have to prepare yourselves. Okay. All they need to do is to enlighten.
Hello?
The larger populations in those.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, I'm there.
All right. Because of our time, CP, I want you I want to get your opinion on this. Peter Obi has described Nigeria as a lawless country, following the alleged illegal demolition of his younger brother's company, property in Ikeja. He says the increasing disregard for the rule of law and civil rights in the country, is a warning that Nigeria's deteriorating human rights indicators and weak institution protection could deter both local and, of course, foreign investment. His brother's house was demolished, and he was just talking about how lawless our country is. What might have happened, CP? Are you aware of this story?
I am aware of the story. I've been following it. If that story is anything to go by, the mistake they may have made was to allow those who were bulldozing the property to get away from that place. They ought to have not allowed them 1 inch of moving out their earth-moving machinery. They could have brought in police, get press, and do extensive coverage. Because from the bit I had, the people could not say who sent them. They could not produce any court paper authorizing them to demolish. They could not produce any paper showing that the former owner has lost possession of the property. So why would you allow them? Only ask them questions, spent about hours there making calls. The person that sent was not seen. No paper was seen. You cannot in any way hold Lagos State government responsible. I have to be frank with you. Because if you were able to lay hands on papers and let the papers be genuine, not forged papers. So it's unfortunate that such a thing happened and it was not properly managed. Because if I were to advise or I was on the spot or I got hints, I would have properly advised them on what to do immediately so that those people will not get away from there. From there, if police comes in and you seize those equipments, the truth will now start coming out. Because if it is government, the government will now show their face and say, yes, we are the ones who sent. Then on what basis? We will now have to hold Lagos State government responsible for what may have happened. But you see, these days, a lot of land grabbers, opportunists, and never-do-wells capitalize on any slight opportunity to wreak mayhem and havoc on innocent members and hardworking people of Nigeria. And we cannot continue to allow this to fester. You need to assert yourself, because if you're able to own a property in a place like Lagos, that means you have to you have a financial muscle to defend that your property. Not that you must be a multi-millionaire to defend your property. You have to put your thinking cap on how to check invaders who are even in land grabbing and in trying to, loot. Not only looting.
But CP, is this land grabbing, or it might be, like some persons would say, politically motivated?
Well, you can't establish political motivation for now until and unless you're able to catch the culprit and get whatever documents they have used in doing that. And the documents clearly shows who are the people behind it. Then you can now impute issue of political, motives and all that.
I would love to read.
But when that is, okay.
I would love to read Obi's statement. He said, "I rushed to Lagos from Abuja after the call this morning and headed straight to the property. On arrival, I was met by security people who tried to bar me from entering. I pleaded with them, explaining the property belonged to my brother's company and had been in this possession for over a decade. According to Obi, when he requested to see the legal backing for the demolition, the security personnel claimed a court judgment existed." You hear now? "But it was reportedly issued against an unknown person. And of course, squatters with no identifiable defendant or name served. However, do you sue any unknown person? How does a court issue a judgment in such a farce of a case?" Obi asked. "No one was served. No name was written. Yet they showed up with excavators and began destroying a structure that had stood for over 15 years. That was what he said. A court judgment, CP, existed. By who? To who? And then we had this unknown person. No name. What's really going on? We should ask.
That is exactly what I was saying, that some set of miscreants and hoodlums would have planned and executed that illegality. You cannot tie the government to it because, number one, they didn't bring any paper from any constituted authority. So that's why I said that he could have used his connection and his status to call both the director of SSS Lagos and the commissioner of police. And there's no way they will not quickly deploy lawfully armed backed government security officers to move in immediately and arrest all those people they find in that place. Then it is when you arrest them, you now see the reaction of Lagos government, whether they will come to say, no, we are the ones that sent. That is one part of it. And then efforts would have been made to impound those excavators and 8 moving machineries they saw in that site and take it to the nearest police station or to the office of the DSS. And then the case will start from there. And all the persons who were manning those machines, including the so-called security people they saw on ground, would have all been arrested, because at the end of the day, you may find out that they are all touts and talks and miscreants parading themselves as security officers. You see, that's why I said he didn't manage the thing the way I had expected. In such a scenario, he should call people that know, who will guide him on what to do. I know there was confusion in his head that he wouldn't have thought along that line. But I believe he should have, at this point in time, be above that in putting up his thinking and calculations in situations like that. Because that's what would have crossed his mind immediately, that, are you sure these people are genuine people? Because you see, a lot of people use the name of government to commit a lot of atrocities. And I'm sure maybe somebody may have hinted them that the owner of this property is dead, and the family members are not even aware of the property. Let them try their luck and see if they can take possession. And if they had brought down the place and nobody showed up, before you know it, they'll go to town planning, go to the government in Alausa, forge papers, take possession of the place, begin massive construction. By the time you come there, you won't even see, you won't see who to ask. The place would have been taken over by another owner. Then you now begin to go to court, and another long journey, long process that will take you 10, 15, 20 years. So that's why I say, if you own a property in Lagos, you should be able to defend your property to the last point, whatever it takes. If you know you don't have that capacity or capability of defending, sell off the property, take your money and go and do something else. Because, I mean, even me, I don't want to use myself as an example. An average person cannot allow you to run his house. Okay. Unless he's not alive. In a place like Lagos, you know how expensive it is to acquire a property there? And then some set of thugs and miscreants will just go and collude and come and bring down somebody's property. They can't get away with it too. At least at the end of the day, if you follow the due process and the rule of law and get your judgment, all those equipments, you sell them off and recover money to rebuild the place. That's why I say they would have impounded those machines to know where they come from and arrest those people.
Okay.
And the people will now make statement who sent them.
All right. All right.
From there that you get to the root of the matter.
Thank you, CP. Thank you. CP, away from that story, 2 appropriations in 1 year. You know, Nigerians are reacting as NAS. Okay, rollover of 2024 budget till December 2025. Your comment on this?
The most important thing is to go and look at the appropriation law. If the law defines such action as being appropriate, so be it. But we don't just let the cat before the horse. We need to go and look for the Appropriation Act, read it properly, and see whether the action taken by the National Assembly is in order, or they have violated the Constitution and the law. But for now, let people not just jump into conclusion that there is illegality until they have gone through it, and one can now go into further comments in that respect.
Okay. Away from that, the Nigerian Association of the Christian Association of Nigeria in the 19 northern states, and of course FCT, has condemned the killing of traveling wedding guests in Plateau State, penultimate weekend. It described the killing as barbaric and inhuman, reflecting worse of human nature that must not be tolerated under any circumstances. In other words, they're saying that Nigeria is sliding into abyss. Do you agree? This is according to Northern Can. Nigeria is sliding into abyss.
I don't want to agree with them 100%. It's not sliding into abyss. Rather, it is a misnomer that would have been occasioned by the recent happenings, whereby some communities are razed down, people are killed in their sleep and in their homes. People are now in IDP camps within that region. So you now see a reaction that is very harsh and very hard. And I'm sure that the people that did this would have been the community vigilantes who are looking out for the so-called headers, those so-called militia armed bandits and terrorists.
Okay.
And when they see a large number like that, their reaction will be, this is them. Oh. They are moving because they move at night. And because of their level of awareness and maybe lack of education and all that, they now acted before they thought. Because you need to think first before you act. But it was the opposite that would have happened. I'm sure by now they'll be full of regrets for what they have done. But that is not enough to say that we are turning into abyss. It has not reached that point. If there is any such thing, I believe it's more predominant in the northern part of the country. Although efforts is being made by these so-called jihadists to infiltrate the south, which will not work because the southerners, everybody is now getting set to defend themselves. Especially in southwest, you can see the activities and action of Moteku.
Of course.
Moteku. Yes, they are battle ready. In some places, you will see them, they will stop a trailer loaded with people, profile them, and find out they have no mission coming to their place. They turn them around to go back to where it's coming from. You must have heard about that.
Of course.
And I'm sure with the introduction of the forest guards, I think it will go to a further extent of mitigating sin. In fact, if you look at what is happening recently, even the Enugu state government has just recently come up with a law setting up their own forest guard. They have even nominated a commander who happens to be a retired deputy commissioner of police from Southwest, but he's heading the unit in Enugu State because he must have worked there, he must have known the terrain, and he must have been a very effective deputy commissioner of police when he served there. That's why they had implicit confidence in nominating him to be the commander of the guard. And you know, when they come into action, it will be brutal, especially for anybody that has no business in the forest and is invading with arms, especially AK-47. I think sanity will begin to come back gradually. And I further see a situation where states that have boundaries with the North Central, like Anambra, as well as Ebonyi, will follow suit. Very, very likely they will follow suit and set up their own similar outfit to go into the forest and sanitize the forests. That's that what we want to do.
Thank you. CP, I want to say thank you so much this morning. Thank you indeed for talking to us.
Thank you for accommodating and tolerating me.
Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Feel free now to join the conversation. Can we talk, everyone? Can we talk? 0700 903 903 903. That's a number to call. 0700 903 903 903. All right. If you're reaching me from outside Nigeria, use the number 081. That's a WhatsApp number anyway. 081 717 56338. Yeah, 081-717-56338. Move away from your radio set or turn down the volume so we can hear each other. 1 minute for you. 1 minute. My name is Jude. What's your name?
Jude. This is Mr. Ernest.
All right.
Yes. I've been listening to your program, but this is my first time getting you through.
Oh, welcome. Welcome.
Yes. I want to say something.
Okay.
For me, I'm talking about myself. This CP is not saying the truth. I always see how you normally talk on radio. And I can say it's working for this man. How can you say somebody destroy somebody's property and they are just beating around the bush, beating around, talking about this one going up? Say the truth and you know what is going on. This thing is done politically and you know. So everybody knows that.
You know it's a political thing, right?
Even you self know.
Me.
Yes, now. So how can somebody be coming and be robbing the truth? Just be saying, going around the truth. Say it now, you know. How can you just go when somebody builds
Thank
that
you.
and destroy it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Man,
1 minute
I
is
don't,
up. Thank you so much for calling. You know, you're not gonna put words on my mouth. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know at all. Okay? I don't know. Let the law take its course. I mean, I don't know, please. I don't know. We shouldn't be fast, quick to everything. Okay.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Talk to me.
Yes, my name is Shola. I'm calling from Nigeria.
All right.
Okay, you know, the truth of the matter is that we shouldn't just conclude when you don't have a fact.
That is
The
it.
man that the CP has spoken well, because you need to get your fact right. Even me myself, I was thinking towards what this last caller said, but you cannot be so sure. That man has spoken very well, the CP. You know, but I can understand the confusion of Obi at that time. Maybe if he had somebody like CP beside him, you know, they would have done what he said. Then on the security issues in this country, the thing is that we are tilting towards self-defense. There's going to be anarchy the way we are going about this thing. Once the government fails to provide security, which is one of their major responsibilities to the people, provide security, secure them. Once they're not doing that, what will happen at the end of the day? See what is going on now from the east. And they have the right to defend themselves. They have the right. Before you know it, each and every region will start protecting them and defending themselves. And before you know it, civil war. So the government is responsible for whatever is going on now. May God help us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. 0700 903 903 903 is the number to call, and 081 717 56338 is the WhatsApp number. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Kaminjude.
Good morning.
Good morning. This is Afunwa Adama.
Good morning.
I see the talk my own. My problem is the insecurity in this country. May government do something about insecurity for this country. Every day, nobody free to move again. You are moving, you carry all your money, hold on for hand, tie them for your chest. You will be having fear. Make this government, if you don't do anything for this remaining 2 years remain now, make it give us security.
All right.
Make it give us security. We need security for this country. It can be do there. People are dying, killing every day. Ain't no the way we come away no here killing. Make government do something about it. That's my own this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Afunwa, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Good morning here. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, Kamejude.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. This is Alpha. I'm calling from AJ.
Okay.
Let me be quick on this. First of all, I want to say that
you need to move away from your radio set when you call.
Okay, sorry. I think I brought it down. Can you hear me now?
Okay.
Okay. You see, there was a news you read in the first place concerning a youth corps that was denied of service just because he criticized the government. I want to ask: Is it right? Because I don't know. This present government now criticized the Jonathan's government to the core, to the last. A lot of things they said about Jonathan's government. So why then has it come to their own now, and somebody will criticize them of the bad thing that they are doing, not that the person is lying? Then they denied him of a service just because he said the truth. And that is number one. That means we don't have freedom to speak anymore. It is no longer democracy we are practicing. It is just like a military regime that we are in already now. Because you can't speak your mind, you can't even say anything free and go scot-free. Everybody's afraid to speak. Even you people that is in the radio, when we try to say something that concerns our feelings, you shut us up because you don't want anything to happen to the station. And we understand that. So, but come to this destroying of the building, I believe that CP Chuks made a very vital point there. Those people that did that don't have evidence of the person that sent them should have been apprehended and kept into that place until the people arrive. Thank you very much. Until the security people arrive, because this is not good to destroy a property that somebody bought and built. It's not good.
Thank you so much. Hello, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you. It's okay. Thank you so much for calling. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Kami Judah.
Good morning.
My name is Joshua Perkins. I'm calling from Festac. Yes, I want to touch on two issues.
Okay.
The Peter Ibo Obi's brother's house demolition. If you look at the drama in that event, you understand how you can connect it to Emefiele. Remember that there was some months earlier, Emefiele denied, or some people denied on his behalf, that he's not the owner of those property that later becomes his. And I know that this is a political, there's a political hand in that. Now, to the insecurity in Nigeria, it is high time we stop talking and start acting. Meet force for force, because we cannot be too diplomatic as people that would want to invade our space. And look at the unit that is responsible for arresting the 23 terrorists, as I had. Is it not the duty of the army to take down terrorists? And now that the army is complicit, we are sending a unit that actually corrupted every facet of the security unit in Nigeria. It's laughable.
Thank you so
much. And I don't see anything happening to any good thing coming out of that
Thank you.
arrest.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. Did I hear you say 20 people were arrested for the killing in Benue? Connected to the killing in Benue, Nigeria, my country. I can confidently tell you that the people arrested are all innocent of the killing, and security agencies must, just want to prove to Nigerians that they are working. Ikemba from Mafoluku Oshodi. Temitokwe from Ijagemo community is saying it's now glaring that the intention of APC is to only grab power as Tinubu's administration is in a serious confusion on how to operate the budget, which he had claimed to be running a 2-year and supplementary budget concurrently. Now the budget is stopped. The most annoying is where the National Assembly, which is meant to carry out checks and balances, has continued to remain a rubber stamp following the proposed amendment bill to add another 6 months to allow continuation and operation of last year's budget till end of the year 2025. In the history of this country, even under the military regime, this has never happened, and our economy has never been in this kind of comatose. Finally, of what benefit is the president's visit to Benue State, and the killing is still happening? May God deliver our soul. Franco Nero, the PDP should go ahead with the INEC meeting. The party does not need the presence of permission of INEC to hold PDP meetings. Those campaigning to APC, or the campaign rather to APC, are doing so for selfish reasons and never for the benefit of the people. Meanwhile, Benue youths and citizens must rise up to defend themselves because the system have failed woefully to protect lives and properties in Nigeria. Nigerians must wake up and begin to choose the best of us, to rule the rest of us, to get the best from us. May God help and heal our land. Frank O. Nero. And then, when will Mr. President look at his cabinet and remove non-performing aides? The basic thing leaders are known for is the ability to appoint competent hands to carry out policies and programs of his administration. We are using our third 11 to govern in this 21st century. Osinwaje in Shasha. All this criticism of the Tinubu-led administration, especially concerning the budgeting cycle, shows the government is peopled by incompetent and indisciplined hands. It is high time the president rejig his cabinet. Let people who are prepared to work be given the chance. That's what you've got to say. Thank you so much. From Mazu Gochuku, APC should stop disturbing us with campaigns and posters in Lagos because the local council selection have been concluded. Our Senate House is now house of nothing. Just imagine what they are doing with our budget. 90% of politicians defecting to APC are political virus. From Mazu Gochuku. Thank you so much. Ogai Rufai, of the two evils your group brought to Nigeria, the APC government and foreign terrorists, we, the people of Nigeria, want your group to settle the terrorists to go away from Nigeria first before we accept your narrative and then decide, with our votes in 2027 on the fate of the APC. Harrison, yeah, that's your opinion though. Greetings. Iotech is sending the Tinubu have nothing to offer to Nigerians and the level of lawlessness is alarming. Iotech, thank you so much. Thank you. You need to calm down. As federal government announced the arrest of Benue killers, we want to hear their prosecution and judgments. Let it not be backyard business as usual. Mama Ann, thank you. Churchill from Ikorodu is saying, good morning to you. Why demolition of His Excellency Peter Obi's brother's house in Lagos State without any court order? Nigeria, no balance. So, arrest of people at Benue State after the killing. How do we believe them? They are politicking here and there. My people, let's wake up and vote these gladiators out of office. The worst are ruling the best of us. Churchill, thank you so much. And then, good morning, sir. Why hungry armed robbers are always arrested and paraded by Nigerian police, but now they are claiming to have arrested terrorists and decided to hide their face? Egbetokun did not arrest anybody. He's lying. Demolition of Peter Obi brother's house is politically motivated. Chika from Apapa is sending that to me. Additional Wasiu in Ikorodu has this to say. Good morning to you in the studio. On Erofai, this Erofai, who was a governor for 8 years, and only God knows how many people were killed in Kaduna under his watch. And since he left office, there is peace in southern Kaduna. Nigeria has no memory like Erofai, like Amechi who told Nigeria that he's hungry after 8 years. And Thank you so much. Additional Wasiu from Ikorodu. Good morning. Adams from Olorunsho Ayobo. Please, tell me, how can Alex be president's classmate? Because Alex was 13 years older in 1979. The year Mr. President came to be graduated from the university. Mr. President should stop disgracing Nigeria and internationally. Okay, let me leave it here, everyone. I'll be back here to read your messages, okay? I have to go now. I really, really have to go now. So that I will come later to read all of your messages. Is that fine? Catch me here by 10:30 again. My name is Jude. Ikame Jude. And on social media, I am Ikame Jude. I love you all so much, and I'll see you much later. Do have a beautiful and a wonderful morning.